All right, good morning, everyone. Our next speaker, Ms. Rointra Hosein, is a distinguished professional with robust educational background. She holds multiple degrees, including a Master of Science degree in Energy Engineering with a specialization in renewable energy. Ms. Hosein has over 13 years' experience in the oil and gas industry, specializing in HSE, and she's a recipient of numerous scholarships and has co-authored publications recognized by prestigious organizations like the Society of Petroleum Engineers. Beyond her academic and professional achievements, Ms. Hussein has made substantial contributions to committees and working groups such as sustainable land management, carbon capture and sequestration, amongst others, highlighting her commitment to shaping policies and practices that addresses critical challenges in the energy sector. Ms. Hussein is now leveraging her extensive knowledge and experience into the world of renewable energy. Her impressive journey from oil and gas to renewable energy reflects her adaptability and unwavering dedication to sustainable energy solutions, making her a promising leader in the evolving energy landscape. Over to you, Ms. Hussein.
Hi, afternoon, guys. So today I'll be presenting on the feasibility of producing and utilizing green hydrogen as a feedstock in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, before I get into the presentation, just because this morning it was mentioned so many times, I thought I would show the colors of the rainbow. And, as we would have heard this morning, there are many categories of hydrogen. But of course, the three main ones that has even become buzzwords are gray, blue, and green hydrogen. Looking at hydrogen demand from a global and local perspective, in 2020, hydrogen demand globally was approximately 900 million metric tons. And most of this was actually produced from fossil fuels, and it resulted in approximately 900 million tons of CO2 emissions per year. It is expected that total hydrogen demand from industry will expand by 44% by 2030. Now, should Trinidad and Tobago produce green hydrogen in the nearer future, hopefully, it can be sold as green ammonia as the energy carrier to international markets. And this is suitable also because ammonia can be shipped under milder conditions, which can result in lower transportation cost. Now, this map, it illustrates the global demand and supply of hydrogen in the form of ammonia. And as seen on the map, there are countries such as North America, Europe, Asia, India that actually consume more than is being produced. What this really goes to say is that there is a gap to be filled. Just bringing it down locally and looking at demand locally, this table actually gives a good indicator that supply is currently not meeting demand in Trinidad and Tobago, and it results in a deficit of approximately 400,000 tons per year. Now, for this project, production figures from a local company in Trinidad and Tobago was used to conduct a feasibility analysis and for green hydrogen, by extension, green ammonia, using a cost of production of 3 to 8 US dollars as a guidance to conduct sensitivity analysis. What was also done was using the average price of ammonia from 2021 to 2023. This was really done to get a high, low, and medium price point. This is the results from the sensitivity analysis using the cost of production of 3 to 8 US dollars and the varying prices of ammonia from 2021 to 2023. If we take a look at 2021 average price of ammonia of $547, it showed a feasibility for the cost of production at 2.9 US dollars per kilogram. Now, this is just at the lower end I mentioned earlier of 3 to 8 US dollars as expected by the IEA. In 2022, now we all know in 2022, ammonia prices had skyrocketed due to that Russian-Ukrainian war, and it had gone as high as 1,500 US dollars. So this was used as the high price point, and it actually showed feasibility even at the highest range of $8. In 2023, the average price of ammonia was used thus far, and it showed feasibility at 1.6 US dollars per kilogram. Now, this is not in the range of the 3 to 8 US dollars I mentioned, but it does leave a lot to be considered for Trinidad, and it is an indicator that, at least using this sample, for green hydrogen to be ideally feasible, either the price of ammonia will have to be higher or the cost of production will have to be lower. For the greenhouse gas calculations that were done for this company, what it showed is that should the entire production of gray hydrogen, and by extension gray ammonia, be replaced with green hydrogen and ammonia, it can result in a mitigation of 2.1 million metric tons per year. Now, it is important to note that our petrochemical sector in Trinidad and Tobago actually accounts for 58% of total CO2. This is the equivalent of approximately 30 million metric tons of CO2. And when this 2.1 is compared to the 30 million, it actually gives approximately 7% that can be mitigated. It does not sound like a lot, but it can contribute to our NDCs and the decarbonization of the petrochemical sector. Now, before I go into my last slide, well, I'll go into the last slide, but I just want to leave you guys with some food for thought. And, across the globe, we are seeing financial incentives that are being unrolled, such as subsidies. For example, in the US, many of us may have heard the chatter around the Inflation Reduction Act, which really provides a four-tier system with a subsidy for up to $3 per kilogram. We may have also seen this 111 being thrown around. What that really means is that the US government actually intends on bringing the cost of clean hydrogen down to $1 for 1 kilogram in 1 decade. And we're seeing this pattern in other countries across the globe, such as Europe and Australia. Now, as countries continue to roll out their financial incentives for green hydrogen, we need to consider what does this mean for Trinidad and Tobago. We would need to consider, can this deter investors from Trinidad and Tobago? This would have to be considered as Trinidad and Tobago take its next steps in decision making and meeting its commitments. Something else that needs to be considered is the market price of green ammonia. Trinidad and Tobago can be pioneers of the industry for green ammonia. We are already one of the world's largest exporter of ammonia. Currently, green ammonia will be sold for the price of gray ammonia. However, according to IRENA, it is expected that a separate market will be developed for green ammonia. Should this happen, we would need to consider if contracts can be made or mechanisms be put in place for countries like Trinidad and Tobago to benefit from selling green ammonia at a premium. We also need to consider CBAM, which can significantly affect Trinidad and Tobago's gray hydrogen and ammonia market with the taxing of imported goods based on its carbon content. This can result in our gray hydrogen and ammonia being more expensive, less competitive, which can also lower the demand for such on the EU's markets. We need to give this consideration as it can affect trade and revenue for gray hydrogen and ammonia. And can this be a motivator for many countries like Trinidad and Tobago to invest in green hydrogen and ammonia and possibly level the playing field? And finally, carbon credits. Now, this does not only offset greenhouse gases, but it also earns a way for Trinidad and Tobago to earn revenue by selling excess carbon credits to nations that may not have met their emission targets. So, just to conclude, and considering all of this, and also given that Trinidad and Tobago's commitments to greenhouse gases under the Paris Agreement, and also considering our fall in natural gas reserves and production, it may be a race against time to invest in such areas such as green hydrogen and renewable energy. And of course, implement the legislation that can accommodate all of this. However, we can capitalize on our country's potential to be used as a driving force for further development of the hydrogen economy. This brings me to the end of my presentation, and I thank you.